So I've been reading a lot lately about the different types of souls that are coming to the earth. And in my reading, they've talked about how these souls have been trickling in for quite some time, beginning in the late 60s or 70s. And it's just in much greater proportions now. So they're talking about different types of souls. And the indigo kids are a popular one that we hear about now, and it's talked about in sort of like new age terms. And the indigo kids are typically the ones that are more rebellious and are really challenging the status quo. And they're giving birth now. They were maybe very prominent in the 80s, and they're giving birth now to a new generation of kids who are like highly psychic, highly in tune. And there's the crystal kids who are usually a little bit reticent, shy, quite psychic, very creative. And there's the star children who tend to feel like they don't really belong on Earth, and they're usually the ones who have quite a connection with the stars. And these kids, they describe, often end up living in their parents' basements and never really maybe making it in society the way it's established, because they just don't really feel they fit in. Anyway, she described in this article a few other types of children as well. There were the diamond children, the rainbow kids, and the rainbow kids are often ones who are born with some form of disability, and they come in and they have these sort of extrasensory attunements, and they receive information, and their strong connection with sound is how they communicate. So you might see them, like banging like this, and that's their signal that they're sending, or they're receiving information. So can you talk a little bit to the variation, the different souls that are coming in?
Well, we need to start by acknowledging that all of us have come from different parts of the galaxy, from different parts of the universe, and that all of us have come with specific qualities that are contributing to Earth development. And in that descension of humanity, Earth have the opportunity to learn from all other parts of the universe. The big crime, of course, is that humanity have created a structure, either politically, religious, socially, that inhibit our own qualities, and we end up with a design brain to discharge all our learnings and our skills, but be mutilated. So all of us are special children from different planets. And yes, there's an order that have happened through history that come from different planets in order. Planet B, and you see the renaissance, for example, of classical music. A few skilled, genius musicians with that particular language, very mathematical, and it was flourishing. So if we observe carefully society, there are little glimpses of those inspirations, either technology or science or arts or movements on Earth and so forth, coming from that union of that clusters of souls. Because of the creator structure, the part of the brain don't work at its full potential, which is proof that we only work 12% of our brain. 12% of our brain. So all the other part is those hidden skills that we could have developed if the receptivity and the sensibility in receiving us were highly. So it's not like this is a new movement. It always has been happening. However, now we have a much more awareness, and the children are much more evident that it's not fitting. So the movement of not fitting is obliging society to change. That is their gift. Simultaneously, we need to acknowledge that all souls that comes to earth come to learn the lessons of earth, the lessons of humbleness. So these children, by having this seen as deficiency, where they cannot express their all full potential, are in a process of learning humbleness. So it's a cooperation between souls coming in with their gifts and souls staying, receiving the gift of earth. So in this particular moment of history of earth and the new arrival of people, of humans, we are receiving not only from one particular part of the universe or particular planet, but for different parts of the universe and different parts of the universe. The essence of cooperation is much more important now. Therefore, it comes different kids with different things, and that's what the sensibility of the parents is important, because they cannot standardize. If we have a formula and say, okay, all the kids are coming from Arcturus, which is the high psychic planet, then we can prepare something. But it's coming from all different planets. Mm-hmm. Simultaneously, Earth has become a pool of souls that wish to help the Earth to be a place of peace. And the Earth is willing now to receive these more sophisticated souls, to teach them humbleness in a different ways. So we should not be worried much about how to adapt them. Mm-hmm. We should be worried more about how to learn from them, mm-hmm. and how to decolonize ourselves from our belief systems. As the psyche of the mother developed, naturally the generational aspect of the kid developed. So that lineage of generation start to be accelerated in their evolution.
So it sounds like they're going to be showing us as an older generation what is needed, and that in time education will naturally need to change.
Correct.
And parents will be with that child in front of them, will be given that invitation to also change,
yes.
to awaken themselves.
Yes.
They'll have to.
It's a two-way
yes.
thing.
Yes.
And that's where, as a parent, it's a humbling thing, where I am not imposing myself anymore. I could not. Yeah. Because in some areas you are more wiser than I am.
Yes.
And yes. By our interaction, you are helping my brain to awake, and I am supporting your brain to develop in the human plane. So it's a beautiful cooperation. Everything is given sacredly, perfectly.
Yes.
That's the big surrender. And if we are too forceful to offer a system, we are actually stopping the natural evolution of what will come out of this cooperation. Otherwise, we'll become like politicians, I'll create a special school for psyche, and that need to be with certain policies and so on. And it doesn't work that way.
And it seems to me there's a big piece of the trust or faith in these children that no matter where they're put, if they're in a traditional system of education, that they're going to find their way, and that there's going to be that mutual exchange with their classmates, with the teacher, that everyone's going to be enriched from, regardless if they're sitting there and having to learn, a type of math or something that's not maybe that useful for them.
Yeah, exactly. Everything has to be upgraded, if not destroyed completely.
Yeah.
To reframe completely. Yeah. But it has to come from the parents.
Yeah.
You have to come from the parents that live with the child, understand the child, and is linked energetically with the child. So the first teacher is the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother have to be strong enough. That's why my effort on empowering women, mm-hmm. so they enter pregnancy secure of themselves, mm-hmm. and become in the role of mother with that security of knowing what they know and not to betray out of doubt or insecurities. Mm-hmm. So the teacher in the beginning is always the mother.
Yes.
Always the mother. And that interactions among mothers, among children, create a community that enrich them and enrich the child education. So it's just to keep our eyes open and not to be too premature to set up things that we don't know.
Yes.
That we don't know.
Yes.
And to really come back to that place of acceptance that, okay, I'm not forcing my child to fit in something that is obsolete. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so what is it really the highest interest of the mother is that the child be happy. Mm-hmm. Either if the child is happy in their basement, well, it's a different life, but it may be necessary, mm-hmm. as part of the lessons, mm-hmm. of education. So the best education is that self-liberation of the colonization of education, religion, political settle, the self-realization of that independence.
Mm-hmm. From those things you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.